Hey Empoweristas, it's Alex Worley and I am joined by Coach Yari. She is the creator of the SoulBody Method. You may have seen her on TLC's Fat Chance, MTV's I Used to Be Fat, or maybe my Instagram page because we are dear friends. So it's so exciting to have you on my set.
Why, thank you.
So you really started in the fitness industry, kind of taking on the disempowered message that the mainstream fitness industry wants to feed people. And through that, you found a more empowered method. But take me back to that time that you were first immersed into it and took on that disempowered message.
Yeah, back then I didn't think it was disempowered, right? Because I think we all just start from a certain point and you start to think about, I wonder how I can make my body better. And for me, there was a few women that I looked at that were like really cut and lean and they did fitness competitions. I'm like, oh my God, I want to look like that. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I think I can do a fitness competition and win at it. And it was a competitive thing with myself that I started to do, but with that comes a lot of extreme deprivation, dieting, to have this particular look. And I was thinking, when I have this body, then I'll be happy. Then all of my insecurities and all of my wounds will go away. Isn't that fun?
Isn't that the message that this industry is really selling? Because it translates to sales.
I was coming from a place already of feeling insecure and disempowered, so that totally fed me at that time. And so I had this trophy in my hand, after I competed.
Chiseled body.
The most perfect body you can think of. And I was still miserable. And I was like, God, this really sucks. I can't imagine going through all of this work and looking this way and still feeling like crap. And I couldn't imagine other women, because I came from a background of also sports and discipline and things like that, but women who were going about it in a way that they didn't come from that background even, and to strive for this extremity and hours of cardio and chicken, sweet potato, brown rice, and really strict, to then find out in the end that that's not what makes you happy, and nothing external or outside of you ever will. I don't care if it's the boyfriend, I don't care if it's the house or the car or whatever, nothing outside of you will ever make me happy. And that was part of my journey. So when you honor and respect yourself with foods that make you feel good, exercising and moving, that energy that stays stagnant, when you play, because your soul longs to play and do things like art, paint, dance, go to the beach, what fills your soul? When you feel good naturally, you're not going to be thinking about food. You're not going to be thinking about filling this void. And that's what we're trying to fill, really, when we're looking for this external source.
Yeah, so you discovered that not only is happiness an inside job, that actually fitness is an inside job, because you may have gotten that perfect body, but that wasn't sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
And not only that, but it can even be harmful.
Yes.
So you really learned that, okay, there's a more soulful, healthy approach that gets you the results. Because it's okay to want to feel and look fit, but that is more sustainable, that's healthier, and that feels good.
When we have heavy and dense thoughts, it'll reflect back to us in a physical form, and it'll show up on our body. And that could be weight, it could be illness, or it could be even injury. So I've kind of redefined weight loss, and I've defined it as weight loss, the result of falling in love with yourself.
Really, to emphasize this point about how often mainstream fitness sends a disempowered message, let's talk about the shows that you shot on a little bit. We won't get too specific, but just you got some insight into how fitness shows shoot and how they take more of an approach of quick, fast, extreme weight loss that's not always sustainable. Give me a little insight into that.
So you know, the way that I teach, like, for example, people don't really work out sometimes no more than 45 minutes. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 6. Because I don't believe in the, you know, you have to do things for a long time and kill yourself.
Because you just don't.
You don't.
I mean,
you don't really have to. Just
the
as long
facts
as
matter.
the work that you do is effective and the most efficient form, you know, that's what really will make the difference. But in these shows, what ends up happening is that we really push people to their limits, and part of that is to be able to tell their story, because there's more camera time, obviously, when you are with a person for longer periods of time. More frustration starts to come up, and more of, you know, the feelings start to come up, so that we can have a show. You know, because it is part of the entertainment, part of the luring effect, and people can relate to the struggle that is actually happening. Do I ever recommend anything as extreme as that? Absolutely not, because it's not sustainable. You know, these people sign up for a show, they know what they're getting into, and I can't say that the way that it's approached is enjoyable. Thank you. It's enjoyable. They start to enjoy it after, when they start to, the great thing about when these people do the show is they get to see how the human body is so capable of things beyond what they would have ever expected. So I feel like that's a really good
That's the blessing in it.
That's a blessing in it. But as far as the people in the audience watching it, you know, I want you to know that it doesn't have to be that extreme. I mean, I've had people on my programs lose sometimes 33 pounds in 3 weeks without all the harshness, with just simply doing things that feel good. And it doesn't ever have to feel like a diet. It doesn't ever have to feel like, oh my God, I can't eat that, or I ate this, I'm gonna run on that treadmill tomorrow. In fact, I don't ever teach people to do cardio on a machine. I think it's actually more harmful than useful. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but I still enjoyed, you know, doing those shows, and I think I still stayed very much in integrity with what it is and the methods that I teach. And I showed them about meditation, and I showed them about different things that a lot of times in our fitness industry we don't address, because there's also a scope for a personal trainer. You touch upon movement only, and some states allow for nutrition to be talked about, but other states, you know, you actually need a nutritionist. So, you know, they stay very much within their means. I just happen to just take the leap of faith and believe really what I believed in, which I knew it was so much more than physical.
You have come up with a sustainable approach through experience, and it's more empowered, it's more soulful. It's called the SoulBody Method. It has 4 elements. Let's go through each one and give them a tangible tip that they can incorporate into their lives today. So first one is
mindset.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so mindset is not just the attitude or frame of mind into which you come into something with, but also mindset is about understanding your thoughts and beliefs, and allowing for yourself to witness what happens when you get a trigger, you know, when something upsets you or makes you sad, and what are you thinking in that moment? What is the belief? And then you get to take a look at the belief, understand it, and then let it go. And, you know, as far as an example for what somebody can do for mindset to start shifting them in that direction of becoming aware, is I want for everyone, if you're watching, right, to write down a vision of yourself in your most ideal form of being. If you were to wave this magic little wand, you know, what would that look like? Because a lot of times what we do instead is we criticize everything about ourselves. We're like, we don't like this, we don't like that, I'm fat here, look at this chunk, you know. And so it's you continuing to repeatedly say those things to yourself is not going to make you fitter, it's not going to make you better. You're just going to go on a downward spiral.
It's going to make you want to eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream
and
sit on the couch and watch Netflix.
There's nothing positive or uplifting about that. So I feel like it's important for somebody to create a vision for themselves. And when you're writing this vision, envision yourself in that present moment. So if you were to close your eyes, you know, and you start to imagine yourself, I am fit, I'm healthy, I'm energetic, I wake up in the morning and I feel vibrant, and start really envisioning what that looks like and feels like more than anything. Get into the feeling part of it.
Okay, what's the next one?
The next one is movement. Let's talk about movement. I think movement is life. Everything is ever changing. Everything is ever evolving. If you stay seated on your couch, you are not moving and you are not in alignment with life itself. So I feel it's so important that movement, it doesn't matter if you start out by walking outside and being in nature, connects you that much more to earth, which connects you that much more to your heart instead of here, because we're always so up here in our thoughts, which can, be both good and bad, depends how you think about the world, right? But I think if we're so heady all the time, we miss a lot of what life is truly about, and it's truly about being in the moment, enjoying every single bit of it. And as far as movement goes too, I encourage people to push themselves a little bit more every single time to get their heart rate up to a point that they're actually panting, because the panting aspect or the breathing aspect would allow your heart and lung capacity to expand. So let's say you do like a set of stairs fairly quickly, and that's
which
like
I've done with her before. Don't make no mistake. This girl may meditate. This girl may go for walks, but she will get you sweating. We have done stairs before, and tell me basically what because you don't do cardio.
No.
You do like short bursts of getting your heart pumping, right?
Getting your heart pumping, and I'll share with you, so just an example of stairs. Let's say you have a set of stairs. If you haven't done them before, start off with one. Start basic, and then maybe graduate up to 5 as fast as you can. But the bottom line is to expand your heart and lung capacity, because that will make your life flow that much easier. The third one, nutrition, of course. Nutrition plays a role, but the way to look at nutrition, instead of thinking of dieting, depriving, restricting, you start to think about it in a way of like, how does this food make me feel? Does it make me feel bloated and lethargic, really sleepy, or does it make me feel energetic and vibrant?
And I'll just interject, that's where these one-size-fits-all diets don't really work, because I know that you've told me before, like, sometimes broccoli, which seemingly would be good, can actually slow down your fitness process because it doesn't feel good in your body.
Right, because sometimes we tend not to process broccoli too well, so it's making you feel bloated. That means that your digestive system is working really hard to make this thing work, and so you might need to eat a little bit less of it. You might need to steam it more, because raw may not work for you, because plants really have this protective layer that don't allow you to absorb all the nutrients either, and the more raw it is, the harsher it can be on your system. So you have to really understand those aspects of it. Also, I want for everyone, if they can test out their breakfast, try out something like a protein shake, high quality, either vegan or whey protein from grass-fed cows. You want to put stuff into your body that's more in alignment with you, so you don't want hormones and antibiotics in your system, right? So you could try that, and then try 2 pieces of toast with almond butter, and then try 2 eggs and slice of turkey bacon. What feels better to you? And then that's how you start to discover yourself. This is how you empower yourself.
Finally, what's the last element?
Okay, so soulset is one of my favorites, because I feel like in our society, we tend to do a lot of action taking and, plan things out, and, very mindful about what you're eating, and sometimes too much to a degree where it starts to become this obsession, right? So how to ease up on that too. But soulset is more about play. Soulset is about connecting with your soul. So for instance, I decorate myself, I have a little peacock, like little earring here, like
got some glitter on the
eyes, things that fill my soul. And what I realized the other day, actually, so as an example, I went out to do a water ceremony at the beach, which was just giving love and gratitude to the water. And it ended up that there was these conga players already there. And conga is so much part of, my roots and stuff. So I really recognized how much more musicality I want in my life and want to experience more of, because that's my soul. So I make it a point to surround myself with those things. And so you have to ask yourself, well, what fills my soul that I have not been doing? Because we're so hyper focused on getting the money, getting the job, getting the boyfriend, you know, and it's like, go play and all those things will magically appear.
That's amazing. Well, the last thing that we always end on is asking people what their definition of empowerment is.
Ooh.
So what is yours?
Empowerment is freedom. Empowerment is the ability to make decisions within your own truth that fully align with who you are. And it doesn't matter what other people's opinions are about it. If you are so truthful with yourself that it vibes in a good way, you are empowered.
And you totally live by that. And I know because I'm your friend and I'm so blessed to be your friend. So thanks so much for coming out here and chatting so I can share your story with everyone else. Let us know what your definition of empowerment is using hashtag Empowerista, and we'll show you some social media love.